Hello everyone, this is Jonathan, aka Jonathan no Bijutsu, and welcome to the second video of the introduction to Ghent and the backstory of my t-shirt of Ghent. So in this video we will talk about Jacob Van Artevelde. In the guessing game we did on my social media, you were able to guess Pirke Pilala and Jacob Van Artevelde. If you know those two very well, little applause for you. So, Jacob Van Artevelde. We are in medieval times in Ghent, 14th century, around 1300, and what happened is, in Ghent is ruled by the French, like the Flemish part is ruled by the French, and in the south, the part of French part, like Wallonia, is like governed by the Holy Roman Empire. So, a little map here or there to show. Okay, if we are settled, if you are in the time zone, then we can start. Jacob Van Artevelde. If you go to Vrijdagsmarkt in Ghent, you can see a statue. And what could be your first impression is like this dude with like armor, kind of looks like a knight, but he also has like this rich clothing, like has like a cloak, like a lot of like rich fabric. Yeah, you can't really see it on a statue like in bronze, but if you look very carefully you can see like this really nice like detail, like a lot of kind of like tirlala, like nice decoration, which shows that he was a man with money. So first impression, you would think he's a knight because he had like a shield and a sword. Having a sword at that time meant you were rich and you belonged to this kind of like rich entity, kind of like middle class now, but rich. So who was he? He was the leader of rebels, but most of all and most important, he was a wool and fabric merchant. He did trade in wool and fabric. So that's very important to know for the story. At that time, like a lot of the crafts organization, like folders, other like wool fabric constructors, like everything that is like a craft was like gathered what is called gilde. Gilde are the organizations back then in medieval times where craftspeople are represented behind the same shield or organization. So at that time, with the French governance, they felt like kind of belittled, like bullied. They felt they were not 100% free to do their trade, their business. It was not going that well. So Jacob Van Artevelde, he stood up, and he at that moment was like the person to lead and say no more. Those French, this is not working, he said, and immediately he got like people that were interested in what he was saying and doing. So he became like the front person, and soon it grew like to be like this rebellious like entity. So Jacob Van Artevelde, also by the way nicknamed the Wise Man, It is said that he had like this very broad like vision of what to do in Ghent, how to counter the French. So what was the first thing he did? You can see it when you look at this statue that he does this gesture. First of all, he points towards all the citizens of Ghent, all the citizens that are like belittled and bullied by those French, and they're like, oh, we're so tired of it. Next, and this is very important, he points towards England, because England is like an island full of wool and sheep. And what can you make with wool? Yeah, you can make clothing, you can make sheet. It is called like sheet, lakenhandel in Dutch. It's like the word to prescribe what they were doing, like trading in fabric that comes from wool from England. So actually what Jacob Van Artevelde said is, yeah, the French, this is not working. So let me just go to England and knock on the door. So that's what he did. So like, he went, little swim over the canal. Then went to the English, knocked on the door. Hello, I'm Jacob Van Artevelde. Can you help me? Like, I don't want to work with the French anymore. The English were like, oh yeah, hello governor, how's it going? Oh, you don't want to work with the French? Yeah, those Frenchies, yeah, they, I don't like them either. Like, always like, oh, the fromage, le vin. And they always come like fight with us. So yeah, how do you know? Shake his hand, and the deal was struck. Started to make business with England, but at the other side of the canal, the French were like looking at me, c'est quoi là? On est le patron ici à Ghent, oui, c'est nous qui commande. So they blocked the trade between Ghent and England. They built like this blockade. And what did Jacob Van Artevelde do? He just ignored it. He ignored it and he just continued to trade with the English, and I was like, oh Charlie, oh tea time, like nothing was going on. So that really irritated the French. But what happened next is even like better. He coronated the English king Edward III around 1330-ish on Vrijdagsmarkt in Ghent as the French king. Now, that is something you have to hand it to him. Like someone that didn't belong to rich society. He was not like really a knight. He was not a king or a duke or whatever. He just was a merchant. And what he did was kind of like when you like read about it now, and when you think about it, it is kind of like spectacular that you can pull something off like that, which like historians still can't figure out how he did it. But what we know is that he did it. So he coronates the English king there on Vrijdagsmarkt in Ghent to the French king, which made French like furious, because they were like, what are they doing? Qu'est-ce qu'il fait alors? Alors on danse, mais non, on peut pas danser maintenant, on est fâché. So they were like, c'est la guerre! So they declared war to the Belgians and the English, and that was the start of the 100-year war between France and England around 1337, which actually lasted until the end of medieval times, like 1453 something. This has been a lot of information that I threw at you, or Jacob Van Artevelde. I hope you enjoyed it so far. For those who are still watching, respect. And this has been the first two kind of like easy modes about the t-shirt and the introduction of Ghent. The next videos we will step up a notch, and that will be a bit little more difficult. We will talk about Maagd van Ghent. So if you're still interested, I will see you in the next video. Okay, goodbye, salut, au revoir.